So, can you tell me the story of Moses and the burning bush?
Yeah, basically what I know is that Moses was wandering around the desert basically, and he noticed that a bush was burning and it wasn't going out.
Uh, there was a shepherd guy, and he was walking around with his lambs, and he heard some random voice calling out to him. So he was just like, "Hey, let me go check out this voice."
See, what had happened was Moses went up the mountain and he saw a burning bush.
Now, I've known this story for years. So there was Moses, and there was this bush that he planted a few years back in his front lawn, or was it his backyard? It was his front lawn, and
So there's this guy named Moses, and he lived in Egypt, but he flees from Egypt because of a bad thing that he does. And he ends up in Midian, where he finds 3 daughters, and he saves them from robbers. And so he goes to meet their family, and he meets Zipporah, their older sister, and falls in love with her. And they get married, and her father, Jethro, makes him a shepherd.
I think Noah was walking by a bush one day on a dirt road on a hillside, and then Jesus just sent a bolt of lightning down and got the bush on fire.
was the bush on fire or was it burning?
So he went over and he looks in this little cavern cave thingamajig. He's like, "Holy crap! There's a flaming bush."
He had no attempt at all to put it out though. It's just like he let it sit there on fire.
And he went over to the bush and it talked to him. And the bush was God.
So one day, Moses is tending to a flock of sheep, and he comes to the mountain of Horeb, where he finds that there is a burning bush. And although the bush is burning, it does not catch fire and it doesn't burn up. So he gets confused, and he looks at the bush, and the bush calls out to him.
A lamb walked by and walked into it and got burned up. That's it.
Okay, that's how it ends.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then God's all like, "You need to go somewhere to do something." And so he has to do something that God is telling him. And then God brings out a cannon, and then he drops it, and it turns into a snake. And then it all just disappears.
The bush reveals to him that he's God and that he wants him to deliver the Jews from Egypt. And so Moses kind of makes a few excuses, He doesn't want to do it so much, but he figures that, God definitely wants him to do that. So.
Anything about maybe a cane?
A cane? Well, he was fixing some soup over the fire too, and he used the cane to stir it, and whatnot.
And he told Moses some really, really important stuff. And so Moses did it. And Moses saved Egypt. Not Egypt, the Jews.
Later on, he realizes that it was Jesus talking through a flaming bush. So, yeah, and to kind of set an example, the flaming bush tells Moses to throw his cane on the ground. So he throws it on the ground, and it turns into a snake. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's a snake!" And the flaming bush told him to pick up the snake, and he's like, "Are you serious?" So he says, "Okay," and he picks up the snake, and it turns back into a cane.
Moses had a staff, and God turned it into a snake. So Moses threw it on the ground. Then it turned back into a stick.
Wow, that's just really inspirational.
I thought so.
So there's nothing about a reptile.
Oh, no. There is something about a reptile. There was a crocodile. I don't know, it was just in the background, kind of lurking, I guess. I don't know, that's what I heard.
So you're saying that the crocodile ate Moses?
Yes, that's exactly it. Towards the end, Moses was eaten by the crocodile, and the bush was just left on fire.
Okay, well, thank you. That
Anytime.
pretty much sums up the story.
All right.
And the bush was burning, but it wasn't burning up. And the bush replied, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I...
I'm sorry, honey. You just got this all wrong, all wrong. So, Nelson, give me your board. Give me the board. All right. Now, this is how it really started. Okay, there was the dinosaurs, and it was about to eat this bush, and it was like yummy. But then all of a sudden, by the power of God, oh my gosh, he's on fire! So he's still just hungry, and he comes down those munchies. But then that's how the dinosaurs died. So the bush is still on fire for 5,000 years. Then this guy named Moses comes up, and he says, "Oh no, the bush is on fire! I'm gonna get my staff." So he was listening to it, and it said, "Get the Jews out of Egypt." But then it just went out. And so Moses has kept walking along and went home his happy ways. So I could tell you, he told me this story personally, so I could tell you all the stories about how truly the dinosaurs died and that God loves you.
You hear that, kids? God loves you.
Think you know a lot about Bible stories? Well, you probably don't. Join us next week as we kick off our new series, Schooled. New Truths on Old Bible Stories.